Hey, welcome back to Marketing A.D.D. I'm Dylan Meislowick, owner of Artistic Development and Design, and this is a podcast where I want to take concepts from books and share them with the business community so that you can apply these business and marketing tactics to help grow and expand your business. And today, I want to talk about a book that's this is one of my first favorites. It's still up there, but it's been quite a while since I've revisited, so I figured why not revisit it for this podcast. And this book is Influence, there we go, by Robert B. Cialdini. And I believe he's a clinical psychologist. I know he's a psychologist. But this book is about the psychology of persuasion. And the interesting thing about this book is that aside from being a lot about psychology, it's actually quite applicable to marketing. In fact, that's actually one of the little promotional quotes on the top. For marketers, it is among the most important books written in the last 10 years. And that's from the Journal of Marketing Research. So the interesting thing about this book is that although it references marketing, it's actually primarily a psychology book. I think that's even what it's actually under business and economics. But honestly, I would probably put this under psychology. And one of the big things that it discusses in this book is various paths of influence. I believe there's 6 different strongholds in the influential community, I'll say it like that, tactics, that people use to influence you to do anything, whether it's to buy something like in the marketing world or just take action in any field. And this is actually the book that many other future books reference for concepts such as social proof. So that's actually chapter 4, which is called Social Proof. And the idea of this is that when you see others doing something that you are unsure of, that adds validity to that thing, whether it's an action, such as purchasing something, or, say you see a lot of people running from something. You might not even know what they're running from, and you might join the crowd and run with them because there's clear evidence that something must be wrong, right? So that's actually one of the biggest takeaways from this book, but I'm going to just quickly run through the series of principles in here, and I'll probably dive a little deeper in future podcasts on each of these individually. But to start off, his chapter 1 just talks about the weapons of influence, and the reason why he mentions it in that concept is that in this book he talks about how people use these weapons of influence to persuade you to take certain actions. And at the end of each chapter, he ends up telling you how to avoid falling into this trap. So I use this a lot for myself as a marketer as well as a consumer when I want to make sure I'm not just being tricked by the marketing, that the quality of the product or service that I'm buying is also good enough to be worth my investment. So the first principle it talks about is the principle of reciprocation, and that is the concept of giving something to someone knowing that they're going to feel that they want to give something back. So this can be done, obviously, in negative ways. He mentions a couple of these where there was people that would stand in, I think it was airports, and give out flowers and then ask for a donation. So I've had this happen before to myself where I was visiting in San Francisco and a woman walked up to me and basically tried to put a bracelet on my hand, right? And then after doing that, try to ask, for a donation. And the point is, I'm traveling. I'm not carrying a lot of cash on me in a place that, I don't know a lot of people. So I don't have anything to donate. But the point is that was, it's almost like a guilt trip. So there's ways to use it that are bad, but then there's positive ways to use it. So for example, say you're trying to obtain qualified leads, meaning you want a client that is most likely, or you want a prospect that's most likely to become a client. And so what you might do is give away something for free in exchange for an email. And the reason why that's not absolutely terrible is because they can easily block your account if they don't like the newsletters you send out, or unsubscribe if they don't need to be aggressive. And so that's something to keep in mind when you're trying to get something from someone. You must give first. Now, this one's more a side tangent from another book, The Thank You Economy. You shouldn't be giving with the expectation that they must give you something in return. The best type of giving is the one with no expectation, and honestly, I've seen much greater return on investment from that. I've given clients, access like, hey, if you want to create a website and not hire me because you don't have the funds right now, here's a free way to do it, right? And from that alone, on multiple occasions, I've ended up getting clients who all I did by doing that was show them that I'm being upfront and honest, like I'm not going to just try to take their money. I've shown them a way that they can do it without even paying me. But because they don't want to deal with the hassle of building a website on their own, they've paid me, and obviously I can make a much greater website than one you can make for free. And so that's kind of the point of that one. And actually, based on the time, I might just skim through these other ones a little quickly, and then maybe this will be the episode on reciprocation. So there's another one that's commitment and consistency. That one's got a lot more to dive into, so I will leave that one for a later podcast. Social proof in short terms, like I said before, it's those you see the action being taken by multiple people, and therefore the action becomes valid, even if it's not good. There is liking. So this is the concept of know, like, and trust. Someone won't purchase from you unless they know who you are, because they can't buy something if they don't know you exist. They must like you, so they can't have a disdain for you, and they must trust you and believe that they're going to get what they've paid for. So there's that. There is authority, which is the concept of, if someone's the boss, even if they're not smart enough to know what should happen, they're ranking, if they can use that to influence people to do things. So that can be used for positive when you need people to take action and they simply just don't believe the person that told them. Then using somebody of an authority figure or expressing your own authority is a way to persuade them to trust your knowledge. And the last one is scarcity. Now, this one's used a lot in a lot of scammy ways. So this one is definitely one to watch out for as a consumer. But if you do have something that you're selling, such as a service or product that is scarce, it is a very powerful tactic if you truly are using it wisely. So, for example, let's say I can only handle 10 marketing clients at a time, and I've gotten 8 clients so far. Well, then, when I'm marketing myself, I can be like, listen, here's all of the services I provide. There's the testimonial from all these people that I've been working with, and they're really loving my work. But I only have about 2 more seats available for people I can market for. So that right there would be a sense of scarcity, because they might miss out if they don't get it now. So that's a way to move people into action, especially since very often people are confronted with so many obstacles that they just say no to everything, even if it would benefit them. So if I know what I'm selling is a good product or service and it will benefit the person I ultimately sell it to, then using scarcity to get them to take action is a perfectly valid tactic to use. So I hope that helps. I know this went a little longer than some of my other podcasts, although not that long, so hopefully you stuck by. But again, just as the other podcast, I will leave a link in the description if you would like to read this book and follow up on more actions to take. It is Influence, The Psychology of Persuasion by Robert B. Cialdini. And thanks for stopping by.